All of that sounds very expensive. There's too many sports. It's too many.
I have friends who their kids were really into soccer and the adults were really into soccer and they did all the travel soccer teams. Like they're sending their kids to like Scotland over the summer.
Oh my
And that was
gosh.
like if we had to travel, that is not happening.
We are Moms Unhinged, a nationally touring stand-up comedy show. Join us in our podcast as we explore everything from motherhood, midlife crisis, marriage, divorce, online dating, menopause, and other things that irritate us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moms Unhinged, the podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Marie, and I am joined today by the amazing, fabulous, wonderful Stacy Pederson and Amanda Marks. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Woo.
Hey.
Go team.
Yes. Yes. Go team. We are talking about kids' sports today. But before I get started, I just want to introduce both these ladies, even though you guys have maybe already heard them on the podcast before, but Amanda Marks is one of our Atlanta-based comedians. She performs all over. She has a podcast herself as well. And Stacy Pederson is one of our Denver-based comedians. She also performs all over with Moms Unhinged and has almost died a bunch. So you can hear that story.
Playing kids sports.
Right.
Yeah.
During kids sports
Right,
games.
yeah.
My
So-
wallet died. That's what.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I smell travel team.
Yeah. Yeah. So Stacy, why don't you just start and tell us what sports were your kids in?
So my son was. We tried soccer, baseball, but he ended up doing wrestling. But majority of his career has been track and football.
Okay.
So, and then my daughter is actually a great athlete. She did figure skating, gymnastics, and running, and hates sports.
Wow.
So I
Yeah.
had two opposites
Right.
of like, okay, this is not
Yeah.
her thing. She's
Yeah,
good at
but-
it, but it's not her thing.
Right. But all of it sounds expensive. Yes.
So expensive. Oh, and swimming, right? Everybody had swimming.
Oh
lessons.
God,
Oh,
swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were they on the swim team?
No.
Oh yeah, that's a huge commitment.
Just the swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the swimming. So, and Amanda, what sports were your kids
Okay,
in?
so I have three kids, and my daughter, who is the middle, but also the oldest of a set of twins, when she's, I think, our most athletic one, both personality and abilities wise, and I signed up all my kids for rec basketball and soccer when they were really little. But as a high schooler, she does lacrosse. She's been doing it since sixth grade, and she's on the varsity team now, which fits with her personality. She's a little scary and tough, but tiny and mighty. My oldest, Murray, in high school, he started trying basically every sport that would give you a head injury. So
How wonderful as a parent.
right? I was like, maybe we should have waited for the braces, but he did. He did football, boxing, rugby, wrestling. And now he's in college and he's on the rugby team.
Wow.
And then my youngest son, who's youngest by 1 minute because he's the baby of the twin, he tried football and did that for 1 year with school. And then now he does jujitsu. And both my boys are really into working out at the gym and I know all the science behind it. And
Yeah.
and my oldest also was really into powerlifting at one point.
Wow.
So they're very strong, and I'm like the most unathletic person. I make fun of myself on stage about it. So it's so interesting because when the boys were younger, they did sports where they were not that into it, and as they got older, they got super into sports. And now Oscar, my youngest, he knows like about every single football team, how to play everything.
Wow.
Basketball, he knows like all the vocabulary. I'm still call them
Yeah.
sports costumes. I'm like.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is wild. All of that sounds very expensive. There's too many sports. It's too many.
Well, we never did. I had rules, right? And if I have friends who their kids were really into soccer and the adults were really into soccer and they did all the travel soccer teams. Like they're sending their kids to like Scotland over the summer.
Oh my
And that was
gosh.
like if we had to travel, that is not happening. And even my daughter, like she wanted to do some travel lacrosse team. And I was like, oh man, that sounds far away and really
Yeah.
I'm like, we're doing rec. We're doing the rec sports. It's not like she wanted to play in college. So I'm like, we don't need to do that for a future scholarship.
Yeah, let's crush that dream right now.
Right.
I
Let's
mean,
just go ahead and be realistic. And
We did travel. We did travel with
Yeah.
football and track for
Wow.
several years before
Yeah.
high school. And
yeah, and where would you travel to? Like what, how?
so their football team ended up being 7th in the nation. So
Wow.
we traveled, my kid was me. I was there and I paid for it. We ended up he competed at Disney World on the ESPN
wow,
field.
that's fun. Wow.
So,
wow.
but yeah, all over. Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, let's just start like racking up. So I'm leading this conversation, but my kids did the cheapest sport you could do, which is ultimate frisbee.
Yeah.
You know, it like there was like a jersey. I mean, and then that's it. There was some cleats, I think. And it was super cheap. So but I was there all weekend. So so let's just start talking about all the expenses that are involved with all of this. So what is it all? Let's just
It's-
list them off. Rattle them off.
You've got uniforms and cleats
Dues.
and the dues. Yeah, the
Coaches' gifts.
payments.
The gift for the
Oh,
coach.
and then, like when you have the travel, you have all the travel expenses.
Yeah.
And the food and all the snacks and all all the parties, because then their friends have birthday parties and everybody so you get invited to more things.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I didn't know is that I would be expensive because I didn't know there was this whole mom culture thing
Oh
with
no. It's
sport.
like dance moms.
It is.
Yeah.
So they're all like fit and they wear athletic wear and they're all into football teams, but they look amazing. And I just I didn't know. I showed up in like t-shirt and shorts and I was like, oh, I don't look like any of these people. It's just trying to keep up.
Oh man. Are we allowed to curse on this podcast?
Yeah, sure.
Because I was
welcome.
like, fuck that shit. Man, I was like, I didn't do any of that. My kids go to public school, and we didn't do the travel. Our most expensive sport was wrestling because of an injury, and they're like, well, he can't. And Murray, who when he was a senior, he was on varsity wrestling, and he was the heavyweight, and there was just one other guy that could compete in this weight class. And Murray wasn't planning on doing this he hated it. And he wasn't planning on doing this last tournament, but something happened where the other guy couldn't go. So they're like, we need you to participate. And then like the night before he was supposed to participate, he gets hurt in practice. And they're like, well, we really need him to come tomorrow, but you have to get him cleared to come. We think he broke his nose. So,
Oh, God.
So I took him to urgent care, and they went through the rigmarole, and then they're like, we don't know because we're urgent care. Does he have a sore throat? Then we can't handle that. And we took him to like the children's hospital here, which is like Showa is what we call it, and it's amazing and amazingly expensive, right?
Oh.
And so it was that I made him stick to it because I wanted him to apply to this very specific scholarship for college, and you had to be an athlete, and then like the amount we paid for the ER bill was way more than what the scholarship was, and I was so like annoyed, but he didn't even break his nose; it wasn't even broken. But we got to look at his. We got
was
to look at
later
his.
by you.
Yeah,
No.
right. I was like, God. But I was so happy to see his brain. Because because his brain looked great. His brain was
God.
after all those. He did boxing and all those other things, and I was like, thank God
Yeah.
his brain looks good. So
Yeah. So that's the other thing is injuries. You had a possible broken nose, but it didn't get
Right.
broken.
Yeah.
Any other injuries that you guys had to deal with?
No, we were lucky that was it. But yeah.
Luke had multiple concussions from football, a pretty bad knee injury, and he does track in college. So he's a senior in college, so he does track it. So that knee injury ended up his quad gets pulled a lot from that knee injury, and he's a long jumper. We've had our fair share of urgent care.
Yeah.
But most of the time it was concussion related. Oh, and one time he got tackled and he just they hit each other so hard. He went flat and went out cold for a second.
Oh, that's scary.
And I was scared to death. Like
Yeah.
and then he lied to he was like, I wasn't out. And he totally was. He should have been out of the game. And he's like, no, I'm good. And then he went back and played more. And I was like,
Oh no.
dude,
Yeah.
he was covered head to toe in bruises and stuff all the time.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. But wow, boys, what is that with all the hitting and the
I have a
gosh.
question though about your kid, right? The kid that played football. Is he
Yeah.
also a hugger? Does he like to hug?
No.
Really? There goes my theory, because my theory was that kids who like contact sports, they also like they're okay with proximity, right? And I'm like, I think I was like, maybe they're all hugger. Like Murray, he's a big hugger, right? He loves to hug, and he's affectionate. And I'm like, that's why I thought he was like okay with all this like close, because they are like really close to each other, grabbing,
Yeah.
Well, he's fat. His thing is speed, which is why he long jumps. So he was always running.
He was the runner. Yeah, that's why they had him. Yeah, give him the ball. Yeah.
But it's interesting, when you look back on your kids and you see who they were as babies and little, and then you could see now you're like, oh my gosh, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
When he was 6, he learned how to crawl at 6 months old.
Oh,
and he
wow.
only crawled for maybe 3 weeks. It was like he was done. He was over it.
Yeah.
And so he was running by 7 months old. And
Oh, no.
having a 7-month-old boy running everywhere.
No. Yeah.
No.
And he,
But he's sticking back in that baby Bjorn, right? Yeah.
and then he
I was promised another 5 months.
Then he was doing flips off the couch by age.
No.
By 1.5 to 2, he'd figured out how to do handsprings off the couch, or
Oh
would
my
run across the
gosh.
top of the couch and jump. Which he's a long jumper, and I put him one semester in gymnastics because I was like, this kid is going to kill himself doing handsprings.
Yeah.
You might as well learn how to do it the right way.
Right.
Oh, he hated it.
It was too structured, probably.
Oh,
yeah.
he just would stand there and refuse to do it.
Yeah.
And coach told me not to bring him back. He's like, he's
Oh,
not, he's
God.
not
No, thank you.
refused.
No.
I had soccer. He was like,
We're
I'm not.
kicking him out.
He just wasn't interested, and
I had-
wow.
not do what the coach said.
I had a kid who, Murray, also, again, he was always running around wanting to touch everything. And he was the first kid, and my husband kept on wanting to sign him up for all these things like way too early, like put him in soccer when he was 2 because he was big.
Yeah.
He looked like he was a 4-year-old, so they let him in. But he wanted to sign him up for yoga when he was 4. And I was like, there's no way he's going to sit in yoga. And he's like, no, it's little kid yoga. They know how to handle these kids. I'm like, okay, you're in charge and you get to take him. So he takes him to yoga. He calls me 10 minutes after drop off and he's like, everything's going great. He was sitting in the circle. I'm at the coffee shop next door and I think this is going to go great. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was surprised. And then 2 minutes later, I get a call from him. He goes, okay, Murray and I are in the car. We're heading home. I was like, what happened? You're just getting coffee. He goes, yep. She called me and said he wouldn't stop running around and she couldn't, get him to sit down. So I picked him up and we're on the way.
That's so funny. It's a nice 10 minutes. 10
Right.
minutes of yoga. It's all we need. I know. Yeah. Now let's try. That brings up a good point though about the young sports. Like how early did you guys have you were starting them at 2. Like they're so bad for so long
Yeah.
in these sports. But like, how early were your kids in sports?
So I had the reason I put my kids in sports early was I had this thing in my head that if they could figure out what they were good at and what they loved by the time they hit middle school, they would do better in life. Like they would make better choices for themselves because they would know who they are.
Hmm.
And so we just did a lot of experimenting, and my daughter has ended up being a beautiful artist. That's why she's didn't love the sports. But it was like this series of Xing out, oh, that's not their thing. That's not their thing. That's not their
Hmm.
thing. Or it is. And that philosophy actually worked. Like
Hmm.
because they made friends that way and they really did know what they liked and didn't
Yeah.
like and had good friends because of it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up where my dad put all of us in little league and
Uh-huh.
basketball, and it wasn't because I was good at sports, it was because he wanted us to learn to be a part of a team, and I
Yeah.
learned that I was afraid of balls. And and
Good to know.
and but still it was just a part of, like, for me it was just a part of childhood. Like, you try sports, you try music, we all played piano,
Hmm.
we did the everything from the arts to the athletics, and
Hmm.
I did the same thing with my kids, and it was giving them a taste of different being active and meeting
Hmm.
people. It was more of like a social thing, and if they
Yeah.
happen to become passionate about it, then great. Ruby, we also signed up Ruby and Oscar for they took hip hop, they took ballet and hip hop. Oh my God, they looked
Oh,
like,
fun.
when they were like 4, they were in a recital together, and it was people thought they looked like little Russian ice dancers in their costumes. They were it was so cute. But she ended up like loving hip hop until she didn't.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not a mom that like makes my kid, do something forever until
Yeah.
it's painful. So
Yeah.
we tried the next thing, but we did sign up Murray way too early for soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was because my husband was like really into soccer when he was little and as an
Yeah.
adult, and he was just excited. It was the first,
Yeah.
so he was like, we were just so excited, but he was running around pretending to be a duck the whole entire time.
Yeah.
So it was not.
I know. I know. My favorite was Little League, where they are out in the outfield doing who knows what, rolling around, looking at the bugs,
Mhm.
like, and you're like, the ball's coming to you,
You're gonna get a
like,
concussion. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's hilarious. So with all these sports, you guys must have had like so much time, isn't it? So I mean, that's the thing about nowadays is that, my mom never went to our sports, but we now as parents, we go to all the sports things.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been a lot of time out of your weekends and weekdays
Especially with
where you
Stacy, she's traveling. That's a
yeah,
huge commitment.
It was a lot of time,
yeah.
but I loved that time with him.
Mm.
So it wasn't like I didn't love the dads. Let's just put it simply like that. I
What
didn't
were
love their beer
what were
belly
those
yelling in
dads
the
doing?
back
Oh
at their
yeah.
kid
Yelling. I know, so
meal.
much
I'm
yelling.
like, shut up. Like, you know
Seriously.
what? They can't even hear you and you're destroying
Yeah.
your child's self-esteem. Like, what is
Right.
wrong with you? I didn't enjoy that, but I did enjoy just the whole journey of it with him.
Mhm.
And it's a long story, but when my son was very little, my first husband got very sick, and I worked so much that I missed those first several years with him. And always told myself I'll make up for it when he's in high school. And that's kind of how being able to travel with him and spend that time and I just enjoyed watching him.
Yeah. It is fun to watch them do their thing, and especially as they get better and better, it's a good time. It's the thing that's weird is I just remember when I was doing sports when I was young, it was like we'd have like one game a week, It was like one game a week. And now it seems to be like a whole weekend thing,
Yeah, and Sundays. Like I remember when Sundays weren't a sports day, and
Yeah.
it's like 7 days a week. There's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird culture though, too, I think, as parents of trying to navigate that world. It is a subculture of parents that, with whatever they're like, if it's dance or if it's gymnastics or if it's football, it's like they all have their own little unique quirks. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pressures, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mainly a sports mom for like rec sports and then middle school and high school sports. And as they get older, for public high school sports, it actually gets easier because there's transportation. Like the biggest thing is like having to drive them back and forth. But so like I don't have to, like with lacrosse, she hops on a bus. And if it's far away, like we don't go. Like we go to the stuff that's at our local high school, and she doesn't even want us to be there all the time. Like sometimes they want us there. They definitely have opinions about us yelling their names, and what my husband can do and what I'm allowed to do, and what the siblings are allowed to do, and and we've just at this point, since Ruby's the last one. Oscar did rec basketball this year, but Ruby is like, I don't want you yelling. And so that I'm like, I am going to yell. And
I can't help it.
And I can't. Right. And I don't even think she can really hear us anyways out there. But the weirdest part of sports is, when teams are playing against each other and there's defense and everyone's yelling, go D, hold that D. Big D. And I'm like giggling because all I can think of is that they're really saying dick when they're saying defense. And I told one of my friends that, who kept on yelling it really loud. And then he stopped yelling for the rest of the game. He's like, now people think I'm saying that. It's like, yeah, they do. They do think you're.
Let's get some of that big D energy out there.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm like, I can't stop.
Maybe it's hold on to the balls.
It's our problem.
Hold on to the balls.
Right?
Hold on to the balls. Big D.
It can't be just like a comedian mom thing. Like other people have to be thinking the same thing. I just say it out loud.
I do feel like we're at a little disadvantage as being comedians. We think things that other people maybe don't think.
Right. Oh God. Yeah. I think some of the time, like you say, there's this subculture also of these moms, and what's fun to see is the mom's first time when their kid's in a sport and getting used to what's happening. And the first time I was when Murray tried wrestling twice throughout, like once in 8th grade and then again a junior and senior year of high school. But so in 8th grade, when he's doing wrestling, we're at some sort of tournament, and and there's like 4 different matches or bouts or whatever they're called going on. And I hear this mom yell as loud as she can, "Get a lift on, babe!" And I was just like, oh my God, my kids cannot complain about me cheering for them, because life could be so much worse. We were like all waiting for the mom to like jump on the mat and rip like an 11-year-old off her son.
That's a true helicopter mom. She's in there with him. She's like,
but also you can imagine she probably couldn't even control herself, right?
Gosh.
Like she saw some kid manhandling her child. And she was like, she just went full mama bear, and it just came out. Like, I think she probably couldn't control herself, because what mom, if she could have controlled herself, I don't think she would have said that, right? I think she just couldn't. It's like breathing. She couldn't even help it.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's so funny. That's so funny. It can be stressful watching your kids play sports. I always, when my kids were in soccer, I would always just have to walk away when they were goalie. I was like, I can't watch this, like the pressure. So, it can definitely be a little wild having to be the spectator and see that. That's so funny.
My favorite thing, though, is running as the comedian mom is when I get to help with concessions.
Oh, yeah.
And to have like a whole marketing and branding background, too. So one time, they had bought like a ton of all this Chick-fil-A product, and people weren't eating it. And they're like, Amanda, you guys sell that Chick-fil-A? And I was like, I got this. And I have no idea what's happening in the game. I'm useless, right? But I know how to hawk some Chick-fil-A. So
Yeah.
I'm your
You're out there in the stands, the little, the strap-on thing,
and
Chick-fil-A.
I have to say, and it prepared me to help run the merch table at Mom's Unhinged, right? I'm like, there's really no, whether you want like a cup that feels like a boob or you want a Chick-fil-A sandwich, like my sales tactic are pretty much the same.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, any other weird moments from sports times that you guys can think of or had or whatever? I don't know if you had any other.
I can slice some serious oranges. I'm just going to say.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
Green
kids
cheese
gonna have
and
Scurvy
oranges.
on Stacy's watch. Yeah.
You sling
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. I
Yeah.
got you on the oranges.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we would have this tournament in Ultimate Frisbee, and it would be on Mother's Day every year.
That's so mean.
It was horrible. It was so mean. But the dads did step up. I will say the dads stepped up. Although I think I was kind of nudged by the moms, but they brought in like a little spread of mimosas and little baked goods and things like that.
Only an Ultimate.
I know.
Baked goods, right?
Yeah, baked goods. Yeah, I do think it was kind of spearheaded by the moms, but the dads ended up getting credit for it, I'm sure, for some reason. But
Men taking credit for women?
What? One of my favorite moments is after rec basketball. They have a game where you can sign up for it, and it's parents versus coaches.
oh gosh,
And so our coach was a 6'7" and a former professional basketball player. Like he played in
my
college
God.
and then he played for a European team afterwards.
Oh,
And like the nicest guy. And of course, like there's no women who sign up. It's all like the dads. And then
Yeah.
most of the coaches are guys. And I'm like, I am signing up, right? I got to represent as a mom. But then also, I was very worried about what am I going to wear? I want to look cute. So I had on like this, like just like a turquoise tank top, these like blue, like 1980s looking sports shorts with like the white piping around them, like the shorty shorts.
Yeah,
And then like those white socks, like the white old school basketball socks with the stripes.
Yeah.
And then some Converse high tops. And so my strategy was like being really aggressive because I knew they didn't want to hurt me. And because I was by far, and I'm not short, like I'm like 5'6", right?
Yeah.
But compared to all the guys, I'm like tiny out there.
Yeah.
And I'm like running around in pigtails and I'm really aggressive because this is my strategy. So the coach, Coach Beard's running down full court with the basketball, like really fast. And I took a chance and I just jumped in front of him. And I was trying to distract.
Oh my God.
And he came to like a complete full stop and was like, what? And he literally picked me up and moved and just kept like, but I was like, I got Coach Beard, so I was like, I made them let me block him because even though he was 6'7", I was like, I'm the best one. I'm your best hope. I'm your best hope. There's no one tall enough to block him on our team, so we got to use
hilarious.
some spirit, and I am your
That's
spirit.
so funny. That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
We lost. We lost.
Do you guys have a that's awesome. Do you have a favorite moment from watching your kids play sports? Any favorite moments come to mind?
I do. I never cared like with Luke if they won or not. I was always like, your integrity is what matters, and I feel like that's how sports helped him so much with that, of learning work ethic and all of that. And I had a moment, like my most proud moment of him was a play went wrong and he got really mad. And we talked a lot about, your integrity on, like, don't throw fits on the field, right? And he took his mouth guard and he threw it down and was like yelling. And I'm in the stands going, wait, what? Like, that's the one thing. And I watched him take a moment. He picked up his mouth guard. Then he went over to every referee and apologized. He didn't get a flag or anything.
Yeah.
But he went and apologized to all the referees and then the coach. And I was like, okay, my son's going to be like,
that's a good kid.
That's a good kid.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
A lot of self-awareness to being able to do that, know?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Yeah. Yeah. I had some fun moments just being able to watch my kid make plays. Both of them at one time or another just made a really good play, and you're just so excited for them that they get that, like,
confident
that
boost.
that feeling of like how it feels to just really go for something and win and get it. And it wasn't even that the game, it was wasn't like a game winning thing or anything, but it was just such a good play. And it's fun to be there.
Yeah. It's interesting because there's that, like, that stereotype that or that trope that sports gives kids confidence boost. And I've really seen that with our youngest and everything he tried and whenever he was able to figure something out. And they also, I let them try skateboarding and he really, I remember him saying, I feel more confident, and me being like, I guess that does work. But what I also like, I don't know if I have favorite memories. There's lots of moments from all my kids that are real special. But as a mom who's just naturally paranoid about my kids' safety, I was really worried when Murray started doing football because he was a lineman. And the first game, I was so nervous, and then realized once he started playing how strong he was, because he was just kind of kind of pushing people. He's like, and then I just started, and I don't know any of the sports terms, so I just started yelling, "Push him, Murray! you push him!
Pushing,
Good pushing." But I'd say this was a significant moment when my kid tried out for the youngest one. Oscar tried out for the football team in like 6th grade, and didn't make it. But it was so important for he loved being a part of the practice and being a part of the team. And he went to the coaches and said, "Can I just be a manager?" Like, he just wanted to be on the field and wanted to come to practice to be a part of everything. And they created a special, like, assistant coach role for him. And so he would show up, and then eventually, like, something happened with the players, and they're like, "We're putting you in, Oscar."
Putting in the manager. Let's go.
So it was, he just wanted to, it was just a lot of times it's not necessarily about being on the field, but just being like the camaraderie of being part of a team.
Yeah, for sure. That's so great. That's so great. Well, you guys, this has been so much fun. I love all the stories. Thank you so much for taking some time out to share. And we'll have your links in the show notes so people can know where to follow you, all that stuff. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening, and make sure you subscribe, share, and follow us on the socials to get more comedy clips.